Hello, hi Rajivji. Good morning and a warm welcome to you on our show Chat and Chai.
Hi Kavalji, Pranam, how are you?
Pranam Rajivji, absolutely fine. Hope all well your end as well.
Absolutely.
So Rajivji, we have a few queries sent in by our listeners here this week as well.
Go ahead, please.
The first one here is from a listener who wants to travel back to India but says that what happens if I travel without a visa or advance payroll while my I-485 is pending? I wanted to go home to India.
If you travel without an advance parole or a visa, your I-485 is considered to have been abandoned. That means when you re-enter USA, of course, you'll have to get some kind of a visa to re-enter. You can then apply for 485 again if your priority date is then current, or you can stay in India and convert your green card to consular processing, which basically means I'm not going to go back to USA. I'm going to stay in India, and when my green card turn comes, I will do interview for the green card in the consulate. It has certain complications inherent in it. Make sure you talk with your lawyers. I'm not so sure it is something you should plan on rashly or without enough deliberation. Discuss your case with your lawyers. It certainly is an option that's available. You can convert your adjustment of status case to consular processing.
All right. Rajivji, your voice is breaking in between, but I'll just carry over to the next question. Says my H1 is almost about to get over, and according to my lawyers, there's no way that I can extend it. What would be the best option? Should I move to CPT?
Well, that is certainly one option. Um, let's examine what you can do when your H1 6 years are about to be over. You probably should apply for CPT. Curricular practical training is a tricky area. I don't recommend it easily simply because the USCIS does not like CPT. Okay, they do not like CPT, especially during first semester of education. Let me explain to you what the problem is. CPT means curricular practical training. Curricular practical training is something which students get when they are involved in a course of studies where practical training is a part of the curriculum. Okay, so what the government is concerned about is this, that many schools have become employment authorization issuance factories. They just issue CPTs and make that a hook through which students can be baited and brought into the school. They don't like CPT in the first semester. If you want to have a relatively clear sailing with USCIS, make sure the following requirements are met. If you don't meet these requirements, they could give you trouble in change of status back to H1, but you can always go for visa stamping. So if they don't accept your CPT as genuine, it's not the end of the world, but I would prefer that you do it this way. So number one, look for a degree that's accredited. Okay, and I have a few videos on how you can check out the degrees, whether they are accredited or not. So degree should be accredited. Number two, it should be a graduate program. Normally, we don't issue CPTs in first semester unless it is a graduate program, master's degree. Okay. Third thing, the college website should clearly show, or the program should clearly show, that the practical training is an integral part of the education. So if it's a degree in information systems, it should clearly show, for example, in their brochures and on their website where they describe the course that, by the way, you're going to have to do CPT because it's an integral part of our training. Okay, so it should be integral part, clearly showing it to be. And the last thing you should do is make sure the school has an agreement with your employer. There is an agreement. It's usually a one-page agreement that says the school is going to send the student over, and the employer understands that the school will give credits for the work they do. CPT can be for a full-time job, just like any normal EAD, employment authorization, but it should meet these requirements. Without that, it can cause trouble for change of status back. Okay, so keep these 4 requirements in mind. So CPT is definitely one option. If you have not started your green card, you can't really take much help from there. If you have a spouse on H1, eventually President Obama's plan will kick in and you'll be able to, or the regulations will kick in, you'll be able to, might be able to get H4 based employment authorization. The other option is to go outside USA for 1 year and come back after your H1 period has been reset. So these are some of the things that you can do.
Okay. All right, Rajivji. Another question here, Rajivji, from another listener who says, my brother is in India. He has a 10-year visa to the United States. He has come to the United States to visit me twice in the last 4 years after he's got the visa. I just wanted to ask you a question. What would be the best way for my brother to come to the US to start a business, and a business that he could, invest in, and of course then continue to stay on here in the United States?
Well, that's a question that probably needs about 15 to 20 minutes of time just by itself. What I would recommend, Kamalji, is that you invite this gentleman to a conference. And like we have done in the past a few times, we can do a conference call and address how to do business in the United States for somebody like him and give them some ideas.
All right. Meanwhile, would you like to give him a brief idea, Rajivji?
If you have time, because it's really, it requires some lengthy discussion of the options. But typically, if you have a business already in India and you are a managerial level person, by managerial we don't mean just managing 10-day laborers. We mean you are supervising professional level staff or making high level decisions for the business. You might be able to open another business in the United States and transfer yourself over on an L-1A visa, which does not require any specific level of investments. Another option would be to directly go for EB-5 investment-based green card. We like L-1A because it doesn't require any investments and it can get you green card fairly quickly. And also the green card that you get is unconditional. If you do an EB-5 investment-based visa, you get a green card which is conditional, and you have to invest $500,000 or $1 million depending upon certain options. So there's really so many, the decision tree is so deep. I will need time and I will need to know what they are thinking to help them decide what is the best way to go. So existing business could open a branch, and remember, the company in USA and the company in India can be doing totally different businesses for L-1A based options. For EB-5 based options, we have to look at how much money they want to invest. Okay?
Right. So these were the queries here which is sent in by our listeners. But before we wind up, is there anything of importance that you would like to share with our listeners on the immigration reforms bill?
Well, there is no immigration reform bill right now. They are still struggling with passing the budget, which funds the agencies responsible for immigration. And what happened was that one party, Republicans, working from the lower house, presented a budget which had some provisions on the budget that basically kicked out all the reforms that President Obama was trying to do. So when the budget went to the Senate, which is the upper house like Rajya Sabha, it was basically resisted by the Democrats and rejected. So now the ball is back in the court of the lower house. They have to present a budget probably without those nullifying provisions. It's a very strange environment in many ways. I feel that, and I think most people will agree with me, that the difference among the party lines has become so strong as to in many ways make the government unworkable. Nobody is willing to compromise. Nobody is willing to move forward. So it's a very odd situation. I hope that they are able to come to some conclusion and settlement amongst themselves. But right now we are still waiting. We don't know what's going to happen.
All right. So, Rajiv, with this, I think we'll ask you leave. And of course, it's been a pleasure talking to you like always. Thank you so much for all your time and for being a part of our show.
I love it. I love being a part of the show and talking with the people and our listeners. Thank you very much for letting me do so.
Okay, Rajiv, thank you and have a good day ahead.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Rajiv.
Every other Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we host free community conference calls. Everybody is welcome to join. Some people post questions ahead of time. You can take membership in our forums. All of the details are there on our website, immigration.com. You can take membership ahead of time, and it's instantaneous. It happens right away. And post your questions beforehand, or you can just log in. The phone number and all are provided: 202-800-8394, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time every other Thursday. We have free apps for both Apple iOS platform for your iPhones and iPads, as well as for Android. Just look for immigration.com, the period dot, and the application should show up.